Welcome to a Celtic State of Mind, hosted from Western Australia by myself, Sean, joined from Japan by Liam. Quite late one for us, but we stayed up and we watched what was not an entertaining game in the end as Celtic lost 2-1 at home to Hibernian. There was quite a few talking points that we'll cover. I believe there was another match concurrently happening. Did that finish 2 each?
It has just finished 2 each. Yeah.
2 each after 9 minutes of injury time. Nothing controversial there. Injury time as you wish. So what happened at Celtic Park today? We started the game looking a bit disjointed, not creating many chances. And then after about 20 minutes, Hibs have a little 5-minute spell of pressure, one which results in a goal from a cross from Cadden, which is a cross with no pressure, and then a back post header from Paslak, which again is an undefended header at the back post. Pretty weak defending. Not sure who's to blame for the cross being under no pressure, but Tinecki was certainly to blame for losing his man at the back post. I've seen some comments at half-time saying it was Tierney's man, but if not for me, since Tinecki's literally touch tight with him when the cross gets hit and it comes off him. Just after that, 1-0 down. Martin Boyle gets in behind and Schmeichel keeps us in the game with a very good save. And then Celtic start to respond in the first half. We have a few shots off target, nothing. Sitter by Vanchara from 6 yards out, and then Nygren equalises just on the edge of half-time from a Kieran Tierney cross. Then into the second half, and we have quite a few. We start the half with a lot of intent in the first 10 minutes. We have quite a lot of shots. Nygren, particularly from Nygren. Maeda comes on for Vanchara and Hitati on for Oxlade-Chamberlain. And just after that, there's a great chance for Yang that gets deflected wide in the box. At that point, we hear that Livingston are 2-0 up against Sevco, and the stadium is a lot of cheering, a lot of shouting. If we get a goal, then we can gain 3 points on our Glasgow rivals, and then it all unravels horribly from there. 71 minutes, Trusty gets a straight red card with a VAR intervention when there's a corner getting lined up and McGrath is holding him off, and Trusty chops his arm to stop the hold, absolutely chops his arm. I would say, enough, from my opinion, enough force to merit a red card. And a minute later, the same corner comes into the box. Scales is held and pulled down, and VAR has a look at it, and I don't know what they've seen. They've not shown the replay or told us, but they reckon it's not a penalty. I'm not sure how that one wasn't a penalty, but there it was. And then Arthur comes off the bench for his debut, and hard to judge him in a game with 10 men, but 86 minutes, he's somewhat ball watching as Callum McGregor's dropping deep to help his defence. Not sure why. I guess when you're down to 10 men, things just get a bit ragged, and it gets laid off at the edge of the box, and Hibs score from the edge of the box to go 2-1 up, and that was all she wrote. So all these late winners we've had in deadlock games at Celtic Park, and this one goes against us. A lot of people saying luck running out. I would maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess so. I would say there was a lot of good fortune around having so many late winners. But that was an ambling summary of the game there. Liam, anything you want to jump in on first? What stands out for you to comment on?
I mean, the red card is obviously the defining moment. And
did you think it was a red?
I put it this way. I can see why it's given as a red card. Do I think it's fair? Do I think it's reasonable? No. But do I think there's a justification within the rules for doing it? Yes. So our players need to be smarter than that. Right? Trusty was being held. It was wrong. And I would argue that and I'm sure you'll tell me how the rules contradict what I'm about to say, but I would argue that the Hibs player is holding him. Trusty has tried to break free, and the Hibs player is still holding him. So he then uses his arm to try and break free. But it is a strike on another player. So I think it's a borderline decision, which has gone against us. But we need to be smarter. We can't keep giving referees these opportunities, because we know they're going to take any opportunity they can to penalise us whilst ignoring things that are done against us. It's happening. It's happening every week. It's not a conspiracy when it's demonstrable fact. And we're making it easy for them with things like that. Right? Trusty was... I get why he did it. He was obviously annoyed at being repeatedly held. But he's got to be smarter than that. You can't give the referee the chance, even the chance, to go and VAR it and give you a red card.
There's Metal Tim. It was a punch of the arm, clear red, stop the excuses. That's his opinion. Jim 67, 100%, assuming that's what he's agreeing with since it's right after it. Joseph McGonigal, don't give them decision to make. Exactly. For me, I get what you're saying. He's trying to get the arm off, but like when you watch it back, like it is the full action of what Trusty does is he's clearly, he looks frustrated, he looks exacerbated, and then he kind of pulls back and absolutely strikes down with force. There's no, like, it's not, I would say he lashed out. Yeah, and I would say it's excessive force, which qualifies it as violent conduct. And look, if you swing at someone with that much force and miss, that's still violent conduct. That's the same, whether you hit them or not. So it's not anything to do with how much damage you've done. If you punch them on the foot, it's the same thing, right? If it's excessive force or brutality. If Trusty takes that holding arm, twists it around the guy's back and puts him in an arm lock, that's brutality. That's also a red card. But look, you can, what he needs to do, and look, this is the frustrating part, right? Because if he tries to run off the guy, if he tries to run and he's being held, the guy knows that he can hold when the ball's not in play. He knows he can do what he wants, because when the ball's not in play, it can't be a penalty unless it's something that meets the criteria for a yellow red card. So they can do what they want, really. They're not going to give away a penalty until the ball comes in. So that's what they do. They frustrate players. They do that to frustrate them. And he's bought the red card. Trusty's reacted and got himself sent off. Yeah. So it's totally stupid, totally naive from Trusty. And I feel the person I feel most sorry for Scales, who put an absolute shift in and had a really good game and then had to cover on his own for so much. But this is the frustration, right? Because Scales is doing the right thing. He's trying to run off when the guy's holding him. The guy keeps holding him. Scales gets pulled down. VAR should be given a red card. A penalty at that point. There was the one in the first half, the penalty claim where Van Chara's backing into Bashiri. Bashiri pulls him down. And again, on first view, why is that not a penalty? And then when you see the reverse angle, actually Van Chara's pulling his shirt as well. So that's fair enough. They cancel out. But it's very frustrating, even though I don't think too many people could say it wasn't a red card. I think the frustration is that Hibs are allowed to get away. You know, there's a lot of imbalances, and the rules are the rules. You know,
it's the inconsistency. The inconsistency. Like you say, can see why it was given as a red card, and I blame Trusty for being naive enough to get drawn into that. That's a failing on his part. We can argue whether you believe it was fair to red card him or not, but like you say, the laws as they are offers the referee the decision to make that a red card if he chooses to. So we shouldn't be putting them in that position.
Did you think any of the penalty claims were penalties? We actually had 4. There was the handball one that I don't think anyone would say was.
The one that really puzzled me, right? And I don't get what was going on here. I don't know what happened. The Scales one, where he's being held back, right? To me, that was a clear penalty. Then VAR said, it flashed up on the screen, and I assume this must have been a mistake. Flashed up on the screen, VAR no penalty given, foul took place outside the box.
Yeah, I heard that too. They announced
and then Hibs were given a goal kick. So it's like, so you're saying a foul took place. How's it a goal kick to Hibs then? What the hell's going on there?
Well, VR's not allowed to give a free kick. They're only allowed to award penalties and red cards. But yeah, I didn't know what they were talking about outside the box, because the Scales one was miles inside the box. It was closer to the 6-yard box than outside it. So I don't know if they're talking about a different foul. But yeah, that was bizarre. I was confused. So the Scales one should have been a penalty as far as I'm concerned. So it's a bit good old Scottish officials at it again. I'll pull up a comment here from Mr. Ewan, 1971. Thanks for supporting the channel. When you can't score and concede easily equals winning nothing. So the game is at both ends. And Bobby 1962 comes in, big Tam miss in first half, very, very poor. So he's talking about the one where Van Chara gets it in the 6-yard box and he can't get out his feet, and it doesn't even end up in a shot on target, and it's quite costly. Liam, do you think, how much do you hang on Van Chara today? Do you think we would have been better with Iheanacho or Adamu? Do you think Maeda improved as when he came on? I would actually say we got worse. When
Maeda and Hatate were sadly exactly what I feared they would be. They were completely pedestrian. Dyson offered a little bit of pressing. That was it. That was all he offered
for a short time.
Yeah,
and then he kind of disappeared. How do you feel the game would have went if Iheanacho had started? Here's why I can't say that name. Where is Iheanacho from that name? Sorry. Yeah. Emmett McNamee. Why bring on Dyson? What's wrong with Iheanacho? Well, first of all, Iheanacho wasn't on the bench, but I guess that's the question. And how would the game have gone if he was there? He probably scores that first chance, right?
The thing is, the perception amongst a lot of fans right now, and it's one which, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm coming round to agreeing with, is that at the moment, as it stands, Maeda and Hatate are both effectively empty jerseys, right? So bringing the two of them on, and they're just as ineffectual as we all kind of suspected they would be, even though we hoped they wouldn't. It's also a massive kick in the nuts to McCowan and Adamu. You know, because they both are just being left to sit on the bench while two of our most consistently underperforming players of this season are allowed to go on and basically do nothing for 20 minutes.
Yeah, here's a comment from Thomas Willoughby. Johnny Kenny is better than any striker we have in that team. The lad may have missed a few chances, but he hit the net, something our strikers get to. I'm not sure I agree with that sentiment, but it is part of the frustration that we're not so good at scoring goals when the chances are presented.
We're all angry today, guys. I mean, I get comments like that, right? We're angry today, but just a bit of perspective, right? Johnny Kenny was never good enough for Celtic. I'm sorry. He had that one really good goal against Rangers, and he'll be able to tell his grandkids about that. But ultimately, he is not Celtic class. You can debate about whether the players we have now are, but I think it's certain Kenny had the chance, and unfortunately for him, as much as I wished he would have taken it, he ultimately didn't, and that's why he's now elsewhere.
Yeah. So there's a lot of comments about Trusty and mentioning that he's going to be missing Ibrox, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he will also be missing Pittodrie. So that means that it's going to be Benjamin Arthur or Dane Murray starting in those games, unless any other suggestions for how that might go, Liam? Or do you think he'll win an appeal? I don't think so.
No. I mean, there's not really much point in appealing, because what new evidence can Celtic present? Like I say, it's a stupid sending off, but it is a sending off.
So who do you think starts? Martin Belfast says no Dane Murray.
I thought Arthur looked decent enough when he came on today. I mean, you can't judge him on, 15 minutes with a team that's down to 10 men. But I thought he looked all right. I mean,
I think he looked hesitant on the ball, and he didn't really have much chance to show his defensive ability. So I don't know, maybe he was a bit rattled. And there was an almighty downpour tonight. There was a lot of slipping about. Spaced Out 89 is asking 2-game ban. I believe because it's violent conduct, that's an automatic 2-game ban that can be increased if it's.
Could it? I mean, is there scope for increasing it because it's another red card in quick succession following his previous one? Is there any potential?
I wouldn't have thought so because the last one wasn't violent conduct.
Right.
So
okay.
If the previous one had been violent conduct, but yes, as far as I'm aware, it's an automatic 2 with a potential +1 if it's deemed worthy. So that would mean. I don't know if that would mean he'd missed the cup game at Ibrox as well. I don't know if that applies to that. If there was an extra one tacked on, I'm not sure. We need to wait and see what the SFA decide, and I'm sure if the rules are not black and white, you know what way they're going to lean.
Orange.
Blue card, as they say.
Orange with streaks of brown. Yes, yeah. We know how it's.
So let's try and pick some positives. I thought Tierney had a very good game until he went off. I thought he put a lot of great crosses into the box. He gets an assist for the goal. Nygren gets the goal. I thought his passing was a little bit. He wasn't quite on it, even though he was trying some things throughout the first half. But he does the thing he always. 18 goals. He just gets into positions in the box, and it's a calm finish. It's a good finish. He had a couple other shots from range that. And it made you felt kind of Matt O'Reilly vibes, the way he was playing and shooting. Not to say he's quite as good as O'Reilly, but same idea, same position. So it was a good goal. And I thought Tierney was good overall. I thought McGregor had a very good first half. He gets booked in the build up to the Hibs goal. I didn't actually see it, so I don't know what it was for. But I thought he, in the 6th minute, when Schmeichel plays that bad pass out and we almost get caught out. I thought McGregor covered very well, and he looked good in possession and spread it well. And then Araujo actually played great for an hour, and then he started to look very tired. He looked very tired in the last 30 minutes. And then the goal that we lose to go 2-1 down does come down his side. I've not seen it enough times yet to be able to see if he's culpable or not, but I thought there was a moment where the ball went out wide, kind of deflected out wide, and he looked like he was struggling to get over to it, like he was kind of walking almost. And the guy has shown no lack of effort in games, so I don't think it was anything other than tiredness. Any other positives for you? Scales, Tierney, Calmac, Araujo?
I think I've just been sent a message by my dad, which I'm going to read out here because I think this is a positive that we could take. And I'll just read it verbatim. We can still do this if we win our game in hand and beat Sevco. So I admire your optimism, Dad. I don't know how many people in the comments will share it, but that is the state of play right now.
Well, the problem is we're 6 points behind Hearts, and Motherwell are 4 points behind us, and Sevco are 2 ahead of us. They have played a game more, so we win our game in hand. We are ahead of them, but that's it's not even about points at this moment, right? It's about how we're playing, and that's Hibs came to Celtic Park earlier in the season, and it was 0-0, and now they've came here in February and they've won 2-1. So they've taken 4 points from Celtic Park. Hearts have taken 6 points from Celtic Park, if I'm not mistaken. There was a draw. I can't remember.
They've still to come to Celtic Park once. They've got a win and a draw at Tynecastle. Then they beat us in Nancy's first game. So
that's right. Yeah, sorry. So they've still to come again, and so it's and I think Sevco taking 4 points from Celtic Park as well. This is not the sort of form that you. Sorry, no, it's not. One was at Ibrox, but this is not the sort of form that you expect to win leagues. It could be that whoever wins this league, there's 10 games left for Hearts, for example, they're on 60 points. So even if they somehow win 10 out of 10, that's 90 points, and we've won the league with more points than that in the past. So I don't think anyone's going to win the league with 90 points. It's going to be somewhere in the 80s if it even gets to 80. It could be as little as 78, 79, which would be probably the lowest I've seen since we 3 points for a win.
I was going to say, because I remember the season we stopped at 10, Celtic finished on, I think it was 70 or 72 points, but that was still only 2 points for a win at that point. So,
The Green Smoke 6-7. Celtic, Scotland's richest club with a mid-level league team. I wonder if any more protests will arise out of this. I'm not sure. Here's Alistair McCulloch. The referee cost us 4 penalty kicks. And sorry, I didn't realize there was a swear in there, so I'll just put that away. Needs to go into every game telling the players, don't expect the ref to call a fair game. And look, I probably should expect a swear there. There's quite a lot of swears in these comments. Here's one that's came up a few times. Officer Feelgood, 88. Martin O'Neill tactics were baffling. And then just below, and again, there's a swear in there, so I'm going to pull it away. But Journeyman, when do eyes turn to the dugout? Liam.
This is the danger of Martin O'Neill coming back, isn't it? Is that if we don't win this league, it's going to leave a sour taste in the mouth. And it's ultimately he's doing what he can with the resources that he's got, but he also had a couple of weeks in January to get players in. Look, Martin O'Neill does have to take some of the blame today because tactically he got it wrong, right? As I said, bringing on Hatate and Dyson when you had other options on the bench who could possibly have done better, bad calls, right? He should have drilled it into our defenders. Do not give the referee even an opportunity to red card you, right? And that's, that's on the manager. He has to take responsibility for that. But let's face it, the reason that we are in this mess, the reason Martin O'Neill had to come back in the first place is because our board tried to do it on the cheap last season, pissed off a good manager in Brendan Rodgers, failed to get us into the Champions League, and we are still chasing our tails from August, let's be honest.
And there's several points. And I was asked after the Stuttgart game, I think it was, I can't remember when Chris asked me, do I think the season is damaged beyond repair? And I thought that happened in December when we lost at home to Hearts. I didn't really see a way back from that point. And here we are, we've not been able to recover it, The appointment of Nancy was disastrous. January transfer window, spending £0. Signing players like Mvuka. Where is he? He was the one we were going to sign on a permanent transfer. He was the only one we were willing to shell out money for until there was a somewhat unexpected, somehow unexpected heart issue in the medical discovered that was reported 3 years ago. So it came as a surprise. Shouldn't have. And he was the only one we're willing to spend money on, and he's played 45 minutes and not been seen from since. Not even made a squad. What does that say, Liam?
I mean, that's our season in a nutshell, isn't it? You sign a guy that you obviously haven't done your due diligence on, and then rather than saying let's go for someone else because we don't have the time to, we downgrade it to a loan when really we should have just said thanks, but no thanks once we realised that the pre-existing condition was there.
Yeah, like the other winger that we had a medical for, and then he signed for Sunderland, one from Israel. Here's John McDowell. If we won the league, board would say they done a good job. He's probably right. They've been doing that for years, holding up domestic success to justify whatever they do. So do you think there's a possibility that it could be a blessing to not win the league? I think
I would never say that it's a blessing to not win the league, but what I would say is I want and I hope Celtic will win this league. But our board, they don't deserve to win this league. They deserve the humiliation that's going to come with losing this league. And it might be that in the fullness of time, that's what's going to be the undoing of them. every empire falls eventually, even one with someone as maniacal as Dermot Desmond at the top of it. So,
not if his son is the next man up, right?
I think the AGM was the acid test for his son, and he failed it miserably. Say what you will about Dermot Desmond. I don't like the man. I don't like his way of doing business, but he must have something about him in terms of his character in order to rise to the position that he has. But his son clearly doesn't have that. It was quite at the AGM. It was quite obvious that is not a leader. Okay, that was a petulant child having a tantrum.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Damien Moore
yeah,
reckons that hopes we finish 4th. Is there even a European spot for 4th? I'm not even sure.
I think it would depend on who wins the cup.
So is there 4 European spots in total? Because it goes Champions League for whoever wins the league, Europa League for whoever wins the cup, and then there's 2 Conference League spots, I think. Unless there's I don't know.
I believe that this summer the winners of the league only going to the second qualifying for the Champions League, and second place, it's Europa League. You don't even get a chance at the Champions League anymore.
No, I think the only Europa League spot's the cup. I think.
All right. So okay.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that one. Someone can pipe in the comments and I'll pick it up. We'll see. Did you see Kasper Schmeichel going up to try at the end there in the 96 minutes for a corner?
Yeah.
That was what would that have been a redemption arc for him?
No, really, because it would still only been a draw. But I mean, I don't know.
That's where we're at. We're so desperate that home game to Hibs, we're having to send our 38-year-old or whatever age is goalkeeper up for a corner in the 96th minute. It's been an embarrassing season, to be honest. That's our 7th loss out 27 games. 10 games we've failed to win. That's a lot. Motherwell have only lost 3 games this season. You know, Sevco have only lost 2.
17 games that we failed to win. That's nearly half a season. That's
17 games we have won. 10 we failed to win. Sorry.
Right. Sorry. Right. Aye.
But still, yeah. But we've had the fewest draws, so I guess either we win or we lose most of the time. And today it was a loss.
Oh well.
Yeah. Oh well, indeed.
I've had a great weekend. This wasn't it, but I have had great weekends in the past.
What do you expect to see in Stuttgart? Do you think it's going to be Damu starting up front with Mvuka and Balikwisha on the wings? Do you think Ralston comes back in? Bernardo?
I think Stuttgart are going to be looking at us on Thursday the way that Andrew Mountbatten's cellmate is going to be looking at him. So I think we could be in for a very painful evening, unfortunately.
I actually think that both teams are going to just be like, yeah, this is over. Let's just play it out, and we'll take the one each or whatever, or the 1-0 win, and both teams will just save the legs and go without any injuries. Oh, sorry, Augie Boys corrected me here. Mvuka not in the European squad. Thanks, that's correct. Neither is Balikwisha. So we're going to have to play Forrest or Yang or whoever, unless we start rolling out the literal under-18s, which would be interesting in itself.
Would it have to be Dane Murray in the European game then? Because I don't think Arthur was in the European squad, was he?
That's correct. Arthur is not in the European squad. So it's going to be Dane Murray. Oh, no, because Trusty's fine for Stuttgart. It'll be Trusty and Skills unless they rotate it.
All right. So it doesn't apply to Europe. Okay.
Yeah, Trusty's not suspended for Europe. So, yeah, good weekend for Hearts, you would say. Certainly not for us. Here's Nessie's agreeing. Play reserves against Stuttgart. Maximise for Ibrox.
Yeah.
I have to say, Liam, I'm dreading Ibrox. How are you feeling about it?
I don't know, because I mean, form-wise, it should be a pumping when we go there, because that's the way this season has gone. But I don't know. I still don't think they're very good. I really don't. A team that needs the intervention of VAR to And, you know, they have to struggle to a 2-each draw with Livingston. I mean, granted, we only beat Livingston. We have last-minute winner, but I don't see them. That's the frustrating thing, right? Hearts have been consistently the best team over the course of this season, which is why they're top of the league. But they are beatable. Rangers are extremely beatable. But I wouldn't fancy Celtic to beat either of them if we played them tomorrow, because we just don't have the consistency right now.
Yeah, we've got here a comment from Bogan Patter, Welsh, better than Trusty. We turned down a lot of money for Trusty in the last transfer window. How much of that is evaporated after these 2 red cards and some shaky performances?
Ooh, yeah.
Not good. Yeah.
I love coming on here. It's a rare laugh.
Great track. Yeah. The Hibs strip was nice. The Kano Foundation had a good day out. Brian, I seen that clip saying Brian Wilson was chatting to supporters outside the stadium before the game. I wonder what we said.
Brian Wilson will be in a bunker at this point.
Yeah. So it's all a lot going on and not a lot of it good. So let's hope for something more optimistic soon. In the coming days, we will travel to Stuttgart, Ibrox, Pittodrie, and then Ibrox again. Maybe I'll just go on holiday and let Paul John deal with this one. Anything else to add, Liam, before we wrap up?
Like, guys, it's a rough season, but, you know, you take the rough with the smooth. Celtic through and through, that's what we do. And
keep supporting.
It is hard sometimes, but hang in there, guys. It will get better eventually.
Yep. It's at the moment it feels like it'd be hard to get worse, and hey, at least we've got the World Cup to look forward to. If anyone's going to spare tickets for Scotland games at the World Cup, please drop me a message on Twitter. I am going and have no tickets. Other than that, let's that desperate plea. We'll wrap up there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Over 2,000 on the stream live, and to everyone that's listening later, thanks very much. And thanks to those that supported the channel directly, Mr. Ewan, Chris 09X9R. Sorry, Chris, I couldn't tell what your comment was, so I didn't pull it up, but thanks for supporting the channel either way. And we'll see you guys after, what's the next game? Stuttgart, when hopefully it's not too bad.